Perhaps the most memorable encounter I've had with anyone.
If you're a merchant and you're selling anything, you should never just share a YouTube video on Twitter. It should be a shoppable YouTube video, because we can make YouTube videos shoppable. We can make any video shoppable. Simply because now you're like sharing content to your audience on Twitter, on LinkedIn, in your marketing campaigns, in email, SMS, embedding it on other websites outside of your store, and we can make it shoppable. Not just a redirect to your product page, but an actual purchase from the video player.
Welcome to the Own Your Commerce podcast, where leading experts, brands, and innovators reveal strategies for e-commerce growth. I'm your host, Jay Myers, and this show is brought to you by Bold Commerce. Hey everyone, I am really excited to have Claudiu Cioba here with me today. I had the opportunity to meet him a few months ago, and we've stayed in contact ever since. And he's been really just a fantastic guy, but I'm going to give you a little bit of background. He's not just a fantastic guy. The product he's building, I think, is absolutely a game changer. And that's the reason I wanted to bring him on our podcast. And so I'm going to let him speak in a second here. But before I do, he's been a product designer for 15 years, building successful products for multiple companies, Uber, PayJunction, to name some. And what I know of him so far is he is a very highly data-driven, and he's focused on solving complex problems, but at the same time, turning them into simple, easy-to-use customer experiences, which I absolutely love. And so due to the rise of video creation and consumption, just over a year ago, he launched a product called VideoWise, which is what we're going to talk about today, April 2021. And his goal was to create a dedicated video solution for the e-commerce industry. And really, in my opinion, there really isn't anything else like it. So enough of my rambling. I know everyone listens to this podcast not to hear me, but to hear our guests. So without further ado, Claudiu, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, Jay. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Okay, so VideoWise, what is it and why did you start it?
What VideoWise is, in a nutshell, if I were to describe this to my 2-year-old son,
Yeah.
he wouldn't understand, but if I were to describe it to him, VideoWise is a video solution that takes any video and makes it shoppable. Shoppable means that it allows visitors to actually purchase products while watching video content. What VideoWise does is we can take any content that a merchant might have from any platform. Doesn't matter. They can upload it, import it from TikTok, from Instagram, stories, video posts, YouTube, all of the major video platforms. And then we turn that content shoppable by taking their own products into those videos, and we distribute it through our own channels. By our own channels is we embed shoppable videos on Shopify stores, and we also distribute it outside of their stores, one-click shoppable, straight from the video, distributed anywhere. The reason why we actually start doing this is because, as you mentioned, as a product person, I've been thought to be data-driven, and all of my decisions are based on data and a lot of testing and iterating. And what we noticed is a clear uplift in conversion whenever shoppable videos are used on product pages, on landing pages, doesn't matter. Whenever they're used, there's a clear uplift in conversion. And you're pretty much monetizing and creating new revenue with existing video content. So we saw it as a very easy way to add revenue to any online business. And I started drilling down in e-commerce towards the e-commerce industry because this is where numbers matter most. This is where owners are trying to squeeze conversion points, and this is where revenue is king. However you're generating it, if you are successfully doing it, you're going to want more, and you're always going to find new ways to actually generate more revenue. So we found a new way to generate more revenue for e-commerce brands and merchants, and we're doing it with shoppable videos.
Why wouldn't someone just embed videos using YouTube, Vimeo, Wistia, or some other tool like that?
They're already doing it. If you look at even some of the top brands, this is peak technology right now, which is to embed a YouTube video on your site. But if we are to fundamentally look at the way video has been consumed and designed for more than a decade, for a few decades, actually, it hasn't changed. And it hasn't really updated. The video player hasn't really updated and caught up to the new consumer and to the future consumer, which is spending more time on a mobile device. So all of these video players, Vimeo, YouTube, Wistia, they're not really mobile optimized. They're still a landscape video player. Even if there are in portrait, they won't launch a full screen engaging experience. It's probably just one video when you're embedding it, and it's not really mobile optimized. What we do at VideoWise is we think mobile first, because we both know you're an OG in e-commerce, and you know that more than 70% of the audience is coming from mobile. So you absolutely have to address that audience as a priority and create the best customer and shopping experience for them. So what we're doing is we're thinking mobile first by offering a full screen video experience. And what we noticed is we're actually creating more engagement by not just letting people watch one video, but creating a swipeable video player to a similar experience that people are already familiar with on TikTok or Instagram Reels. where we're actually pushing playlists instead of one video. What this achieves is it engages shoppers more with your content, allows them to watch more of that content. And what our formula has been telling us and what our data has been telling us is the more they actually engage, the higher the chances are that they're actually going to purchase from you. So a great experience, which is, again, starts with a mobile design first, like a mobile first design, will lead to a great engagement. A great engagement would lead to an amazing conversion. So when it comes to those players, they're still pretty outdated. They're fine, don't get me wrong, but they won't offer the same experience. They won't even offer a branded experience. I mean, when you use a standard YouTube player, it will show recommendations of other videos, which sometimes even your competitors might pop up on your website, on your own website, literally. You don't want that, right? So what we offer these brands that we work with is actually a white label or a fully branded video experience with not just one video, but an actual full playlist of videos, fully engaged, and everything seamlessly embedded onto their website. So it doesn't feel like some sort of an add-on or some sort of a app that stands out on top of your website. It's actually fully integrated inside the site seamlessly.
There's a bunch of stuff I want to pull out here that I think is awesome. So first of all, I think it might be helpful for anyone listening, whether you're on your phone or on your desktop, for someone to actually see this so then we can continue talking about it. Do you have any good brands that if someone wanted to go to a website or a demo or any live examples would be awesome if there's any on the top of your head that someone listening right now on their phone can just go to that URL and actually see it, and then we'll continue. But what would be a good one for someone to go to?
One good one that we recently implemented is gelblaster.com.
GEL?
Yes, GEL Blaster, gelblaster.com. Another great brand, which is a food brand, is Emi Eats, IMMI Eats.com. So this is Emi Eats. They sell some amazing ramen. Highly recommend that brand as well.
Okay.
The founder has a super inspiring story. So you can definitely go, for example, on those two brands and see how it looks. But I think one of the best examples is to just go to our website, go to our case studies, and we have links to actual live views. And we are launching a redesigned website in the month of July. So maybe by the time that this podcast will be live, we're going to have our new website launched. And we will be featuring actual live examples from our brands on the homepage and throughout the website. Because one thing that VideoWise does really well is we do not just embed on a Shopify store. We can actually allow merchants to share video from now on anywhere, fully shoppable, fully one-click shoppable. We're integrating it on our site as well.
So for those listening, check out either Gel Blaster or Emi Eats. You'll see the experience, because I think that's important, because the way you implement it, you touched on this, but it's very different from traditional video. Someone watches a video. It's very much more of a story feel, something like you'd feel on TikTok or Instagram stories. You're swiping up with your thumb, and it's intuitive. It's the way that someone expects it to be used. And it's almost like I find myself watching videos sometimes on sites and my thumb just does that. It's like our thumb has a brain or a memory. We've trained our thumbs to swipe videos like this. And so I thought it was genius that you implemented it the exact same way. So when someone opens a video, they don't just close or swipe. It's exactly the same way they would. I assume that was very intentional. Was it that way from the start?
It was that way from the start. I have to give credit to TikTok for doing that.
Oh, for sure.
Technically speaking, we actually had to build our own proprietary video player, so not using any libraries. So what you're pretty much getting is a highly optimized video player that's specially designed with shoppability in mind. This is very proprietary to VideoWise compared to maybe any other application that does anything remotely similar on the Shopify App Store. Is you're going to just find third-party libraries that are being used by these companies, where what VideoWise has done is we've actually built a proprietary video player designed specifically to make it shoppable and to make it really deeply integrated with Shopify's API and with your store.
Yeah, and I think what's great about it is when you open it, if anyone listening actually went to one of those sites and opened it, you'll see that it doesn't require an extra app. It doesn't open in the phones with iPhone. I guess it's QuickTime or whatever the iPhone player is. It opens in the web, but yet it feels exactly like a mobile app, but you're still on the site. But it opens up and takes over the full screen, which is genius. It's fast. Even opening another application still takes you off site, where this doesn't do that. I wanted to ask, this is something I hadn't thought about before, but when you said you package the videos, it's usually a playlist. There's a lot of data in marketing and advertising, what's called brand affinity. And often they say that you need to see a brand's name or a company 7 times before you make a purchasing decision. There's probably some data around how many customer review videos that someone has to see before they feel comfortable making a decision. Like if we talked before the podcast that I just got a new dog. if I'm buying a crate, I'm not going to watch one, well, I might, but it's very unlikely that I'll watch one video and then make a purchase. I'm probably going to go to YouTube and watch like 10 videos. So you package these videos in these stories that people scroll through. I imagine that's huge for conversion as well too. And it's by like the 7th or 8th that they click buy or add to cart within the video, not on the very first one.
You're hitting the nail precisely right. As part of our strategy, let me just say something before I answer your question. I think it's very important to know how to use video, shoppable video, and not just like randomly place it. What we've done with the hundreds of brands that we've been working with is we've actually experimented different strategies. And some of the top agencies that we've been working with, they experimented strategies of content distribution on site and outside of the site as well with shoppable videos. And whenever we see a great result, we actually implement it and suggest it to everyone. So you're not just getting a product like an application, like, oh, I'm just blindly installing an app from the Shopify App Store. I'll figure it out myself, somehow like make this work. No, you're actually getting a team of specialists and a lot of experience behind that's going to teach you how to use this and apply a success strategy. The reason why I mentioned this success strategy is for your question, because part of the strategy is to keep the user as engaged as possible. So if we look at the fundamental reason why video content is very effective for e-commerce is the fact that shoppers have questions about your products, right? Whenever you're buying something, you always have the same questions. Is this actually good? Does it really work? Is it the right size? Is it the right shade? How does this work? How does this feel? You always have those questions. People have questions, and it's normal. And all that you're trying to do as a merchant on your product detail page is try to answer those questions with a description box, with reviews for social proof, some GIFs, some photos. Like you're always just trying to answer the shopper's questions. Where video comes in, it pretty much does that in a very seamless way. So what we're doing is we're actually applying a strategy that answers the top questions that shoppers might have about a product. So we actually work really closely with our brands, depending on their needs. We look at their products. Our customer success team actually creates a personalized strategy. They look at the products and like, okay, what are the top FAQs that your audience has? How can we answer that? And how can we break those barriers? Because those are practically purchasing barriers. How can we break those barriers with the right type of content? We then put the right type of content and we distribute it in multiple places, not just in one place. Like with VideoWise, you can actually put shoppable videos multiple times on the page in different ways. So for example, you can put a single video as part of your product presentation on the top next to your product photos or right below in the description area. Then you can put a carousel of TikTok videos, like a sin on TikTok or see it in action just for social proof above your reviews area. You can use it in very different ways. And we have a lot of strategies for increasing engagement and conversion. But you are right when you're saying that there has to be multiple touches. And we are trying to create as many touches as possible with the user from the homepage to the product detail page through email marketing, SMS marketing, even other publishers. Like whenever you're having PR written about your brand on another blog, you can actually put that shoppable playlist of videos on a separate website and people can purchase from the website. So you're creating pretty much multiple touches with the consumer and they always get their questions answered or the social proof from shoppable videos. And that just creates multiple touch points, creating more engagement, leading to a better conversion.
Yeah. Okay, you touched on 3 of my next questions, but I want to dive a little bit deeper. Where exactly are all the places that a VideoWise video can live?
With one word, anywhere. That's it. And I'm going to be a bit more explicit.
I guess because you can embed it, but like I know it also shows up as a floating kind of widget, an overlay in the corner.
Let me get a bit more in depth. If I were to break it down into macro categories, I would call it on-site and off-site. So we can actually put shoppable videos on your site. The first category means that we have multiple themes, all fully customized, CSS matching, you name it. You can customize it from the app. Wherever you want to display this shoppable video on your website, we can do it. Carousel, grid of videos, stories, circles on the top of the navigation, pop-up picture-in-picture video. There are a lot of small Shopify apps that maybe like their entire product is like, oh, we're going to show some small stories. Yeah, that's just a small feature in our product. Like we have a massive platform. Yeah, you can use any themes you want. And if you probably have a great idea for a new theme, we're probably going to build it really fast in a week and like just get it to you out there, like really, really fast. All of these are super highly customizable. And this is how we embed it on site. We embed it using multiple themes that you can customize and you can include on any page of your website. What's really proprietary to us that you're not going to find in any application right now, in any shoppable video application, and there are actually quite a few, is our level of distribution. And I want to touch on this because This is so unique to VideoWise, and it's so appealing to any serious brand, any brand that's like actually growing. They have a lot of SKUs. What this is our level of distribution. So when it comes to embedding shoppable video on site, you have to think at scale. Right now, what you do with video, with YouTube, with Vimeo, with Wistia, with any shoppable video application out there, all of them, it's a one-to-one relationship. Create some sort of a video widget, they give you an embed code, you put it on a page. What if you want a new one? Okay, you create another video widget, they give you an embed code, you put it on a new one. With VideoWise, it's a whole different level. Okay, we're talking earth and sky. So what we're doing is we actually have a lot of bulk actions and automations that allows you to actually embed the same video widget, but with different content on virtually unlimited number of pages. So you can add, for example, imagine you're trying to put a carousel with social proof videos and you have 1,000 products or 10,000 SKUs. We can keep the styling of that video widget consistent on 10,000 SKUs. We can have different videos for 10,000 product pages, and all of those videos are tracked separately as separate widgets. So it's distribution at scale on tens of thousands or virtually unlimited number of product pages or blog pages, because the blog is a great source for us for putting shoppable videos, but they're all kept consistent in styling of branding. So for example, if you're going to want to change a color or the number of thumbnails in that carousel, you won't have to go on 10,000 different pages and change it. You're changing it on one place and it applies to all the pages, right? You can copy video one to another, bulk deletion, bulk publishing, filtering. We made this with scale in mind so that we can accommodate any level of store, not just small DTC brands, but we're talking some of the largest retailers. And all of it without affecting the page speed of the site. So when it comes to on-site, we are very page speed mindful. And our scripts are as small as a Facebook pixel. So this is something else that you're going to find about VideoWise is how heavily optimized the video player is and the actual scripts that are going on the site. We do thumbnail compression, auto compression, video auto compression. Everything is highly optimized when it comes to deliverability of the video content on your site. So again, I touched on a lot of points on on-site and how we're betting on-site, but where I actually see the future of this industry is the off-site shoppable video abilities. On-site is great. It provides an uplift in conversion. We actually guarantee a 10x ROI for that, so we can actually guarantee that. But when it comes to off-site, now it's the time where you can share shoppable videos anywhere. If you're a merchant and you're selling anything, you should never just share a YouTube video on Twitter. It should be a shoppable YouTube video because we can make YouTube videos shoppable. We can make any video shoppable. Simply because now you're like sharing content to your audience on Twitter, on LinkedIn, in your marketing campaigns, in email, SMS, embedding it on other websites outside of your store. And we can make it shoppable, not just the redirect to your product page, but an actual purchase from the video player. So that's super, super amazing because all of a sudden, you're no longer sharing content just for watching. You can go beyond watching and you can convert users when they are most engaged and watching your content.
Okay, so if I have a product and someone writes a review about it on an external blog, if instead of embedding a YouTube video, they embed a VideoWise video, it'll open not just a video, but whatever's in the playlist, right? Like it could be 6, 7.
Yes, you can add multiple videos in addition to the video from that provider, and you can make that shoppable. If New York Times writes about your brand and you give them a VideoWise video and they will give you permission to put a video in there, you shouldn't put a YouTube video. Not that we have anything against YouTube. We are actually a YouTube compliant partner. We actually work with YouTube, but you should put a VideoWise video because we're going to turn any video shoppable. And all of a sudden, you're actually expanding your reach to newer audiences that come in contact with your brand, come in contact with your product, but they can also purchase. That's what's really amazing.
And so tell me about that purchase. So they read the blog, they watch the video comes up, and there's the add to cart options. It could be one or it could be multiple products. They check out right there in the video, and that order just gets pushed back into their Shopify orders, right? Like, tell me about that flow.
Of course, I can tell you about the flow. I have to correct you there in terms of the checkout. So we do not handle the checkout, and I can tell you a good reason why we actually don't want to handle that checkout. So the way it happens is inside the video, that can be posted anywhere. You can tag one or multiple products. You can actually include quizzes. You can include links. There's a lot more interactive options outside of shoppable products. But shoppable products are the most successful ones because those are direct revenue, not just links to separate pages. So the shopper can actually see the product or products tagged in a video. And we even have multiple call to action types of behaviors. They can add multiple products to a virtual cart inside the video player, continue watching, adding more products, continue watching, and then check out. Or they can actually purchase right there and then. And what I mean by purchase is they click on buy now or add to cart. And that's when we actually take them to your checkout page on your store. So we actually take them in a new tab to your checkout page so that they can check out on your site. The reason why we're doing this is because we've noticed how merchants really appreciate their own customizability and checkout flows. Yes, I wouldn't go in there to mess with somebody's checkout and try to reproduce it. There's so many ways that people are customizing that. And I mean, we already know that VideoWise is integrated with Bull Checkout, and we see how that works. So people appreciate their customizability. So the best part about VideoWise is we're not handling any payments. Your own Shopify account is handling it. It's still your own cart. It's still your own checkout flow, your own thank you page. We are actually just allowing the purchase to start from the video, which can be placed anywhere. So it's not a redirect to the PDP, because this is what you're actually going to find on, for example, on Instagram a lot of times. On Instagram, they say like shop now. It's not really shop now. It's just a redirect to your product detail page, and then you would have to click again on buy now. So it's another extra click that you're actually doing. With VideoWise is actually shop now. You're clicking buy now. Yes, just give me your checkout information and it's buy now.
It's not just an extra click. It's waiting for that page to load. And over 30% of people who are waiting for the page to load, they go back. If it doesn't load fast, they're going back to TikTok, they're going back to Instagram. So there's a chance they don't add it to cart. And there's a 30% chance they don't even wait for the page to load. So there's a huge gap there between seeing the product on Instagram versus actually checking out with it. But that all happens within the VideoWise video. Everything is at the point they're ready for checkout, hit checkout, and then it goes to, like you said, it does integrate with Bolt Checkout, or it goes to Shopify checkout, but whichever checkout they're using.
Yep. TikTok has a Shopify integration, and I think they've been pushing to offer more support to Shopify merchants. But the problem with these platforms is that these are closed platforms. Everything has to happen within their own platform. You cannot distribute that content anywhere else outside of TikTok. That's where VideoWise comes in, and it allows you to distribute any content anywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so I want to ask, can you share any numbers around conversion, engagement? What are some of these brands, like what are they seeing for results from these videos?
Of course, it always depends on the brand. It always depends on the value of the product that you're selling. But I can show you some averages and some ranges that we're seeing brands engage with and then convert at. So one thing that we know 100% sure is that video shoppers always convert 2 to 3 times higher than standard shoppers. So as soon as we have them engaged with the video content and they watch, our average per platform, so this is for our entire platform, is about 2.5 videos per shopper. So this is the average. People watch about like 3 maybe videos, that's how much they actually engage inside a playlist.
As soon as a customer watches VideoWise videos, they have a 3 times higher chance of being a customer.
At least double, 2 to 3 times at least, yes.
Which makes sense because it's answering their questions, to go back to your earlier thesis on it, right?
Exactly. And that's why our goal is like, okay, let's get these people more engaged. Let's have them watch this content, because this content actually answering all of their questions about the product. And I want them to watch the content. A big part of our platform is analytics. It's a huge part. I'm really proud to say like how advanced and how beyond we've went to actually track the buyer behavior, the video shopper behavior, on-site and off-site. We actually track it even after a week that they've watched the content. A lot of people might not make the purchase right there and then, but they might come back and we're going to track them. Are they watching more content? What is the conversion rate they're converting at? How much are they buying? Just a few numbers is, again, at least 2 to 3 times higher conversion rate for those video shoppers. And the overall conversion rate that we're seeing on the platform is in a range in between 5% to even up to 18%. We have some exceptions that are like 24% conversion rate, which is crazy. That happened on some sale campaigns or like email campaigns, but the numbers are much, much higher than standard shoppers that do not engage with any of this content.
I'm going to go on a little bit of a ramble here, and then it'll lead into a question. I was looking at your Shopify app listing the other day, and first of all, you probably know this, but you have a perfect 5.0 rating, which is, as also a Bolt, we have Shopify apps. I know how hard that is, so kudos for that. That's very rare. I wanted to highlight a couple of them. I actually was reading through and I made some notes on them, and then I have a question on them. So these are some of the things that people are saying about VideoWise. Their videos get great engagement, gives me the best possible way to answer my customer questions, which makes sense to what you said. It's been an incredible addition to my store. The ability to provide short format shoppable videos has been a game changer. Our retention rate has skyrocketed. People stay to watch our endless feed of content to educate customers. Incredible company, high touch, white glove service. I cannot say enough good things about them. And then this one, lastly, I thought was super interesting. We've added over 700 hours of time spent on our site by customers watching our videos in the last 90 days alone, with a 15% engagement rate and a 5% influenced conversion rate. Not only that, but we were able to see what type of content resonates best with our audience. and then we create more of it for TikTok and Instagram ads. This last one really made me think about other ways VideoWise can be used. And so this brand, I'm assuming they're uploading all their content to their VideoWise players on their site and then looking at analytics of which videos resonate, and ultimately resonate means convert. And then they're using those videos as their ads on Instagram, TikTok. I imagine that's a much more cost-effective way than testing out thousands of videos on Instagram. Like, that's genius.
It is. And again, analytics, that's why we are called VideoWise. The word wise actually comes from our analytics part. When we named the product, we didn't just want to be some sort of video player. We want to go beyond that. There's so much more than VideoWise is doing than just a video player. Imagine VideoWise is like an iceberg. The video player, what you're seeing on websites, is like the tip of the iceberg. And then there's a massive platform underneath the water with a ton of capabilities. But we have very in-depth analytics that tell you what is the content that actually converts best, like people engage, people love more, how much are they watching of it, where are they watching. You can perform a lot of different tests with the content, with different even stylings of video widgets on pages or outside of your site. You can even have revenue attribution that's very clear per different sales channels, on-site, off-site. Again, it's very, very in-depth, super granular reporting of how this video content works. You're not going to find it anywhere on the Shopify ecosystem outside of VideoWise. But one thing, if I may add, is my favorite review that comes from a longtime customer of ours, Colin. If I may read this, I think you're going to find it very, very funny. Colin is from chemskins.com. You can actually go to chemskins, chemskns.com. So Chemskins is one of the early VideoWise users. This is his review. VideoWise is the greatest thing since sliced bread. No, like I called my baker at the bakery and said, dude, you are fired. I only need VideoWise now. He protested. Colin, you can't eat VideoWise. You need bread to live and survive. I said, get out of here. I never want to see you again. So now every morning I eat, breathe, and sleep VideoWise. I'm fueled by videos and having consumers absolutely dive into our videos. Then we get to educate those consumers on the products we sell, all through shoppable video. No more horrible YouTube links. Again, YouTube is a great partner. We have a great relationship with them, but that's what Colin said. I love being compared to your daily slice of bread.
Did you say that was Chemskins?
Yes, Chemskins.
I love that brand. To come from them, like, their product is fantastic.
Colin, I think, is head of content at Triple Whale right now.
What's that? Sorry?
Colin is the head of content at Triple Whale.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. Well, that says a lot then too. So uploading the videos to see what resonates and converts, I thought was genius. Do you see any other, like, when you build a product and you see someone use your product in ways you maybe you did envision this, I shouldn't assume, but you see them use your product in ways that maybe aren't like the typical use case. Like, I thought this was genius. Do you see any other cool use cases?
Yeah, I can give you an example, a recent example that almost forced us to prioritize a feature in our product roadmap. And this was a partnership from a company and a customer. Company is, shout out to Penny Black. They actually do a lot of packaging. And the use case was for beauty brands where they're actually putting QR codes on packaging on how to use makeup. And then you scan that QR code and then it leads you directly to shoppable videos with tutorials on how to use their product. And they're upselling other products within those tutorial videos. So it's upselling within tutorial videos. We now have a QR code creator within the app where you can share a video as a QR code and you just download that SVG and put it on whatever packaging you want. And that link stays forever linked to the QR code within VideoWise, a VideoWise campaign. Create your playlist of tutorials, and then you upsell them on other products while your consumers watch tutorials about your product. So, like, super cool.
Oh, my brain is just going a mile a minute now, because what if that integrated with these like referral programs that people share a link and get some type of a reward or referral bonus, whatever?
You're just talking more about some cool features that we're building, but there are a lot of cool new opportunities. That's all that I'm going to say that we're building in the future. And if I were to get merchants excited about what we're doing, is you have to know that we've built this product in less than a year. Imagine what we're going to be doing in the next year. What we're really focusing on is just a ton more distribution channels for merchants to just monetize video content and a lot of other ways in their marketing campaigns and whatever. So yes, there are like a lot of new ways, even with affiliates, with referrals. We have a lot of tech integrations that we're working on that are all just adding fuel to these shoppable videos.
It's actually amazing that you launched this just over a year ago, to be honest. Huge kudos. I've used the product and I have played around with it, and it's very robust and it feels mature, even though it's a year and a half old, and I know there's a ton ahead of it. So you're doing something excellent. A lot of apps I play around with it are a year old and they're nowhere near at the stage that yours is. So really, really good job on that. On the analytics thing, we touched on it, but I didn't dive into it. I thought this was such a strength of it because I just, like, full transparency, I do this quite often. I install products on, my brother has a Shopify store. I don't personally have a live Shopify store. Running Bold is my full-time job. So my brother has a Shopify store and I often put products on his store and kind of test it and play with it. And so a couple of months ago, I installed VideoWise on his store and started testing it. And the results have been fantastic. He's hovering around 9% video engagement and he's driven a lot of revenue through it. He's using Bold Checkout. The first month or so, we weren't able to track it, but now that's integrated with Bold Checkout. So now he's tracking and he's getting thousands of dollars weekly from it. And for him, that's a lot. But some of the things, like the data is super interesting to be able to see. Like, I'm looking at it right now as we speak, and I can see exactly which video converts the most. And there's one video that's triple every other video. So for sure, like, I'm going to tell him, like, these are the 3 videos that you need to be tripling down on your Instagram ads. I can see which pages convert from videos watched, time spent, total number of order. There's a ton of data here that you're right. Like, even if there wasn't any sales coming through, which that's the ultimate part, there's such good data coming through in the analytics portion. Does everybody get the analytics or is that on different plans?
We offer everyone the dashboard overview on our starter plan. But then if you want to go in depth, that's where we offer the more advanced analytics on our Pro and Enterprise plans. So the Pro plan actually has the in-depth view of every single panel on the dashboard. And it just gives you a more detailed view as a daily breakdown. And then when it comes to Enterprise, you also have exporting capabilities, like more data-oriented capabilities, that where you can like take the information out or plug and play it into other systems and so forth.
How do you find customers? Like, I imagine they fall into 2 camps. Some customers that have really good video and they have the ability to produce good quality video. And then there's probably other stores, there's probably merchants listening right now that are thinking, I don't have any good video. I don't have the ability to really create video. It's not a skill of mine. What are your thoughts around strategies for people who maybe haven't done a ton with video in the past? Some ways for them to get started. I have some thoughts. I'm curious, like, if you've seen that be a hurdle for people getting started. Like, they love the concept. They're like, yes, I get it, but I just don't have good video.
Yeah. So when it comes to customer segmentation, a lot of the customers that don't really have video content are coming to us organically. Like, we don't necessarily outreach to them or try to sell to them because we don't qualify them as necessarily qualified in the initial phase. And whenever we get a brand that comes in organically and might not have any video content at all, when they reach out to us, the first thing we do is they might say, like, yeah, I'd love to use VideoWise, but I don't have any video content. Like, what do you recommend I do? What we're actually doing is we actually have a very robust partnership network with a lot of influencer agencies or other influencer platforms like Grin, for example, or Billow or #paid, or a lot of these companies that can actually get you video content. So what we do is we get them in touch with our partners. They're probably getting a really sweet deal since they're coming as a referral from us. We're really actively helping them through our customer success team to get new content. So we don't just abandon them, even though we might haven't considered them as qualified customers in the initial phase. We actually help them get that content. We even consult with them during that meeting about what type of content to get. They go and get it on a sweet deal. Then they come back to VideoWise and we actually put it to work and start monetizing it.
Can I tell you what my brother did? That's a fantastic solution. My brother has an email that goes out, I think, 2 weeks after someone places an order. I can't remember exactly the time span, but it just says he sells archery targets. And he says, hope you're loving the target. We always love seeing videos of our customers using it, reviewing it. Anything you want to do is fantastic. And we give I think it's $20 or $30. He gives a discount code on your next purchase, or you can share it with a friend. And then he just made a jot form. You can use anything. You can use Typeform. You can use whatever. And he has a link in the email. And he says, if you want to share a video, just click here. And it opens up, like, they can record a video, upload a video, whatever. And so it submits it during jot form. And he's gotten hundreds of videos from customers. And it costs him $20 a video, if that. And most people, they don't even use the coupon codes. You'd be amazed how much customers, they actually enjoy making videos. It's them taking selfies, reviewing their products, and they're not professional videos, but that's actually what resonates with his customers. They want to watch these videos from not professional actors or anything. They're just people using their products, reviewing it in selfie mode. And yes, it's shaky, but the engagement on them is fantastic and it costs him next to nothing. And then he gets them all in a form. he's got hundreds of them and then he just uploads them. And it's so simple. Like, I think that would be a good starting place if someone has no video content at all.
I see where you're heading with this. I actually have an even better idea for merchants.
I expect you would.
Your brother is offering them coupon codes, but here's the better idea that we've actually tested in the past, which is when you offer them a coupon code, it means that they would have to spend more money, go back to your website and purchase some more, right? To actually redeem that gift. What we've seen actually works really well is just offering them a refund. So you've already made the purchase. For us, in full disclosure, we actually tested collecting videos ourselves, but then we realized that we're not a review platform or a ratings platform that collects video testimonials. We are a combination of a marketing tool and a conversion rate optimization tool. So we're somewhere in the middle of marketing and conversion rate optimization, 50-50 over there. And we realized that all of the reviews and rating platforms could be partner of ours instead of competitors. But we did test collecting video reviews. And the best results were when you're actually offering cash back on the purchase. So just offering them some money back. So it's like, if your product value is pretty low, like $25 or $30, just offer them the $30. It's a really low value for a video that you're getting. Like, it's really, really cheap.
Totally.
And even $50, it's actually really cheap to actually get a really good high quality video. And what you're going to see, if you include this in the email that goes out with the order, or just have a dedicated section, holy moly, are you going to get flooded with all of this content. So just be prepared to have a really good way to actually store that content and to actually give them a great experience to record it. They're going to send it if they're going to get cash back, because they don't have to spend more money to actually make another purchase. Or it's like, oh, I could get this product for free now. What? All I have to do is record a video about it.
That's awesome.
They're going to do it. We've seen tremendous results with it.
Well, it's awesome. It's a legit offer versus here's a coupon code that you might use in the future versus I'm going to refund you $20 today. You're bang on. Like, if a product costs $30, it would seem crazy for someone to email me and say, hey, we'll refund you the whole price of your product, $30, if you send us a quality video reviewing it. But don't think of it in terms of right away, people's heads are probably going to, well, then that eats away my margin. Don't think of it in terms of that. Think of it in terms of advertising cost, what you would pay if you just took your customer list and emailed everyone and said, we want to pay you to make a review. You'd probably have to pay people like $100 for their time.
Exactly.
When you do it in terms of a rebate, people will do it for a lot less because they're thinking of it as like a thank you. It's a different mindset. And so the brand just needs to remember it's advertising costs. So yes, it eats away the margin on that, but that one video is going to convert 5% on now thousands of other customers. Like, it's worth so much more.
100%, Jay. 100%.
I love it. I get excited just thinking about this because now I want to go and tell my brother to change his strategy here. And so
do it.
I will. I want to talk a little bit before we run out of time here, the future in general. I know you touched on it. There's so many things coming down the pipe, but I want to break this down into two parts, like the future of video commerce in general. What do you think that's going to look like? Where is it going? What's this going to look like in 5 years?
I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon in terms of video creation and the velocity and the momentum that the video has had. Shopify put it quite fairly, video is now the default expression of the internet. And TikTok is on the rise. All these platforms are on the rise. So all of the content that brands will have is just becoming more commoditized because people are not camera shy, and it's just going to continue to create this content, especially now that they're very incentivized to do it. The way that I see the future is, I think that if we are to look even in the near future, there will never be a static video player anymore. Video players will be by default, and the way that content will be consumed, it will be by default interactive. It will be by default, like you see a product. I mean, Netflix is already talking to Amazon, to put their products in, if I'm not mistaken, or Shopify, to put their products, make their products shoppable in Netflix shows. And it sort of makes sense. You see a product when you're watching something, instead of leaving and having to search for it and having all this hustle of finding it, extra clicks, extra time, extra load time, right? Where there's fall off from the users. Now, the content will be available at your fingertips in a seamless way where it doesn't interrupt with your viewing experience. It doesn't feel like an ad. People don't want to be sold to. They want to see the product is something that they relate to. So if they're already there consuming the content, they're already on a blog reading about your product, or if they're already on your site doing research, or they've landed somewhere where they're getting in touch with this content, or on TikTok or on Instagram, give them a way to actually reach and purchase your product. So I think that in the future, videos will be shoppable by default. This will be a new standard of video consumption and video distribution. Anyone that's not installing it right now, or is anyone that's not currently using it, let's talk 6 months from now or a year from now. It's just a matter of time, honestly. It's honestly just a matter of time because it's such an easy way to make more money with video content.
I couldn't agree more. I'm not just saying that. Like, we tried this in 2016. It was a completely different thing, but we at Bold played around with video commerce. Very different approach. It was an overlay over YouTube videos that you would then embed. It was a lot more effort for a store to get set up. VideoWise, I played around with it on my brother's store and we had shoppable videos probably in 10 minutes. Like, it was that fast. But I do think that right now is probably the biggest opportunity for video commerce arbitrage, if you want to call it that. Like, when AdWords came out, you could buy Google AdWords for 5 cents a click. And when Facebook advertising became popular, you could take advantage of that and sell like crazy. I think in 5 years, I don't know if exactly 5, but give or take, it's going to feel weird to interact with video and it just being static video. That's it. Like, video will be a medium almost as much as a site is. But right now, brands that have, like, I've shown my brother's store to like some friends and I say like, hey, check this out. Like, you might want to, and they look and they go, wow, this is freaking awesome. Like, they open up a video and it feels like TikTok or Instagram, but it's not opening another app. It's on the site. That maybe won't be what they say in 5 years because it'll be more commonplace. But right now is like this really, really golden opportunity for brands to implement this and stand out. They might not be able to stand out in 5 years. That's what I think anyway.
I think it's going to be the default. I think everyone is going to have it. And it's very much a product-led business and a distribution-led business where we already know we have a superior product in the market space just because of our amazing product team and product velocity and how fast we actually build and launch our features, but also through our distribution channels. We're already part of the tech stack of some of the biggest agencies in the ecosystem, some of the top brands, and our brand adoption has been crazy lately. So we've been signing up more and more celebrity brands as well. So it's just a matter of time, Jay, till this becomes a default in the market. Everyone is going to know about it. It's going to know about the CRO technique where like all of a sudden, like I can put this content to work and I can squeeze conversion points and add revenue with such a simple technique as like not using static video.
I love it. Well, we're at time. Where can, for all the people that have made it this far in the episode, and if you have, they're probably wondering, how can I get started? Where can I go to install it? Where can I learn more? How does pricing work? Can you give us kind of the high level on all of that?
Of course, Jay. Just go to videowise.com. That's where you can find us. So just videowise.com and you can find all the details over there. You can find us on the Shopify App Store as well. We're listed as a public application. And in terms of pricing, we try to keep it very scalable so that we can be very mindful about the customer acquisition costs that merchants have. Like, they're always trying to keep that cost down and be very reliable and mindful of that cost. We try not to grab a kidney of the merchant to actually pay for it. So we actually start at $99 a month on our starter plan that offers a full functionality when it comes to shoppable videos. You can actually use shoppable videos on-site and off-site with that. But then as you grow and as you want to get more in-depth and have more advanced capabilities, that's where our sweet spot is, which is the Pro plan. And the Pro plan offers almost like 99% of the platform's functionality and capabilities with a lot more depth, distribution at scale, that bulk embedding, like all those cool features that are very platform powerful. Those come with the Pro plan. And then we also have our enterprise plans where we actually get in the weeds with merchants. We act almost as I wouldn't say as an agency because we're not an agency, but our customer success team really works almost like on a daily basis with these brands in terms of doing different experiments with their video strategy, performing these monthly reports. We are basically on their speed dial on Slack and WhatsApp for these brands and working with them really closely. And then we give them a lot of access to our API and to do even more advanced integrations with them or advanced customizability for different platforms. So yeah, $399 on our Pro plan, so $400 per month. And then we have our enterprise plans. There's a 21-day free trial. So that's included in all plans. So it's extremely generous. You get almost a month free where you can try the application. We onboard all of our customers. So with the starter plan, you get a 30 minutes meeting. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes. It can be whatever you want. 45 if you actually do it.
You hang up the phone at 30 minutes.
We get an onboarding meeting and a personalized tour of the app. And like our customer success is actually going to teach you how to install the video widget on your site. You're actually going to do it live with them. So it's very easy to actually install it. So they're going to install it with you and you're going to get the basics of how to use the application because it is a specialized tool. We make it very easy to understand how to work with it and get your content in. And then with the Pro plan, we actually even dive deeper during the onboarding meeting and we even create a strategy, content strategy, distribution strategy. It's very personalized for that store. And everyone's benefiting from this personal touch of our customer success team because we want people to be fully empowered when it comes to generating those results. And on top of this, if you follow that strategy, we can actually guarantee a 10x ROI. So we guarantee a 10x ROI. That's a promise that we can keep. We've been keeping it so far. We've been having great success with our strategy that we're constantly improving. I mean, we have 24/7 support, live chat support, video tutorials, step-by-step tutorials, you name it. We're with our merchants all the way.
So going back to my brother's store as an example, he's currently at 12.8x ROI, and that's only in 7 days out of the month. So 7 days of July, he's already at 12x. So he meets that category. He should end up being probably around 30x ROI at the end of the month. Like at first, when I saw the 10x ROI, it seemed like a lot. And then I went to check and no, sure enough, because we just started tracking his results, I think July 5th or so. And as of recording today, it's July 12th today.
For the audience listening, we actually have one customer. We have a few, but there's this one customer. Jay, I'm going to share my screen afterwards. Okay. One customer that has 3,618x ROI. They're making millions.
Okay. My 32x ROI isn't impressive.
No, I'm talking millions from video shopping.
Oh, insane.
It's insane. They're selling these $3,000 products. I cannot divulge the name. I'm going to probably show it to you.
But that's amazing.
It either means that we have to increase pricing because this is like a stupid ROI, like how high it is. But we've seen some truly amazing results. The way that VideoWise performs is if it has an audience, the more visitors you have, the more content you have, the more distribution channels you actually put it to work. Oh my God, it's just going to perform better and better. So if it has an audience, it performs even better. The bigger the store, the better it will perform, like just incrementally. As you grow, the results with VideoWise will grow.
And you know what? You probably could increase the pricing, but for those listening, get it now, lock it in.
Exactly. Lock it in as we still have it right now.
And I do want to mention, I mentioned it earlier, this is self-serving, but it is integrated with Bold Checkout as well too. I know there's a lot of listeners using Bold Checkout, and it might be done by the time this episode comes out, but working on an integration with Bold subscriptions so that when a subscription order is placed, then it's tracking, because there's different metrics with subscriptions, LTV and different things, but tracking subscription orders versus one-time orders. I don't know when that's going to be out there, but VideoWise is a partner with Bold, and that probably may or may not be, but unless you want to speak to that.
We actually already finished the subscription integrations. Right now, what we're working on is the actual UI inside the video player where you can set up like how you render the subscriptions, the subscription options, like one-time purchase and subscription. And we're also adding additional analytics that you just mentioned, like LTV inside the analytics whenever you have subscriptions activated, because we are already tracking, for example, the average order value of video shoppers. And we want to track the LTV and AOV of the subscription shoppers that are watching video. So we've already seen that standard shoppers that purchase one time already have a higher AOV, but we want to see if this actually happens with subscription shoppers. I have a hunch that it will because I see a pattern, but we want to clearly communicate it to our merchants as well.
Everything I know of subscription buying, it makes perfect sense because subscription orders generally have a lower conversion rate than a one-time order because it's a higher commitment, but they have higher LTV, so they're worth more as a customer. But the more objection busters you can answer and questions during that conversion process, the better the chance to convert. So like it makes perfect sense for video to play a part in assisting conversions on subscriptions. When I look at some of our brands, we've got close to 20,000 subscription brands. The ones doing the best conversion, they heavily use video on their selling pages and their landing pages. So like it makes perfect sense for now them just to be able to subscribe.
Yes, they will be able to actually, we're offering a lot of purchasing options inside the video. We're actually putting in ratings and reviews. We're pulling in even recommended products, coupon. I mean, you can do a lot of things in there to actually match that shopping experience. Subscriptions being a new one. And we're actually starting off our subscription integrations with Bold Checkout. So this is the first subscription platform that we're integrating with, and very proud to do it and offer all of the audience that Bold has a way to seamlessly integrate shoppable videos with subscriptions in them.
Awesome. We could talk for hours, but we should cut it off. We'll probably have to have you back after all this is live and have you again. Thank you so much. Everyone listening, check out VideoWise. It's really, honestly, a fantastic solution. We'll make sure we have all these links as well on the description pages. We'll leave it at that. Claudio, thank you so much for coming on. It's been fun.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much, man.
That's it for another episode of Own Your Commerce. If what you've heard has helped you in any way, I'd love it if you'd leave us a review in iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. It's a new podcast and reviews really help spread the word. And if you know someone you think that might benefit from this podcast, share it with a friend. If you'd like to learn more about Bold, visit boldcommerce.com. You can view all our past episodes, and if you have a story you'd like to tell, we'd love to have you on the show. You can apply to be a guest or suggest a guest on our website as well. That's all for now, and we'll see you next week.